Oh, he dodged it. I'm pissed. That
Oh,
might
that
have
is
been
a disgusting combo. Today we're going to talk about the most busted Arc build in the game, and I'm not just talking about Titans. I'm talking about Arc 3.0 entirely. It is ridiculous, and the most busted thing we've gotten since Bonk Hammers in Solar 3.0. Aside from that, this build truly is god-tier endgame content ready. It can do literally anything. Master content, GM content, day one raids. It can go anywhere and be just fine and nuke everything left and right. The best thing about this build is you don't require any guns. You could use literally any weapons you want. Obviously, if you're going to do champion content, then you want anti-champion weapons. But outside of that one specific thing, you can run whatever weapon you want. You can run Gjallarhorn, you can run a tractor cannon, which I personally recommend, by the way. You can run a white Kabastov for all I care. You'll still get through everything just fine. So, let's start at the build itself. Obviously, we're on Striker and Thunder Crash. For abilities, I have Thruster over Rally Barricade or Towering Barricade, simply because Thruster is a faster animation, and the whole purpose of us is to chain through our abilities as fast as humanly possible. B, the dodge can help you get out of a tight spot and basically save your life, literally. And C, I just hate how kind of slow the Titan Barricade animation is, and that itself can get you killed if you activate it at the wrong time in front of an enemy, and it's a little bit slow, much slower than just activating Thruster. So I went with Thruster just for speed. Then we got Strafe Lift. I know some people like Catapult. I personally like Strafe. Sue me. Thunderclap for the melee. I just went with Thunderclap because it's a ranged melee, technically speaking. You kind of have to be close to actually hit it, but I think it's safer than running Shoulder Charge in like GM content or Die From Above. Same reason, you're going into the enemy's face, and unless you kill him in one shot, which doesn't always happen, you're probably going to get killed. Whereas Thunderclap, I can just go up to an Acolyte, but not too close, and then just nuke it with one punch. Then we have the star of the show, Storm Grenades. This is going to be your bread and butter. This is going to be the entire focus of this build. Just Storm Grenade Spam.exe, as you'll see on screen in a second. Aspects, we got Knockout and Touch of Thunder. Touch of Thunder specifically is going to be the cake with your dessert for Storm Grenades. And then we've got Fragments down here, Spark of Resistance, Spark of Magnitude, Spark of Shock, and Spark of Ions. All kind of intertwining with each other together and kind of just helping you recharge faster and faster. You don't have to run these four specifically, but I would say Resistance and Magnitude are pretty much mandatory, and then you could mess around with the other two as you'd like. Weapons, like I mentioned, you can run literally whatever you want. And then for armor, this is where the show starts. So I want to give a quick shout out to something I'm not running, but that you could run in a specific scenario. This build is going to be catered around the endgame entirely, meaning all enemies like champions, wave of trash mobs, and even doing some boss damage. And I want to shout out Firepower specifically for the other version of this build, which is more centered around DPS, or if you want to just, you know, bomb a boss with a million grenades and get it back as fast as possible for more grenade damage. And Firepower, for those of you that don't know, is while charged with light, regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use your grenade, consuming one stack of charged with light. So essentially, the idea would be to stack a bunch of Firepower mods on your armor, throw it at a boss, get it back really, really quickly during a damage phase, throw it again, rinse, repeat, recycle over and over and over. My build is not using Firepower. It's more catered around just every other enemy besides bosses, but even then, this still does decent damage to bosses. The only difference is we're going to be utilizing Elemental Wells for recharge rate, damage, and helping you stay alive with Well of Life. Speaking of which, Well of Life. Picking up a Solar Elemental Well grants increased regeneration for a short amount of time. So, not only is it ability regen, but it's also going to help you survive by healing you. Next up, let's do the class item. We've got Double Bomber in the middle slots to reduce your grenade cooldown even faster, and you just use your class ability, which is the Thruster. Over here we have Explosive Well Maker, rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage, spawns a Solar Elemental Well. Basically, your grenades count as explosive damage, so more wells. For the chest piece, Heart of Inmost Light, of course, because what else would you use, right? So using an ability, Grenade, Melee, or Barricade, or in this case Thruster, empowers the other two abilities And empowering means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, barricades, we don't care about that. So you're going to be cycling through everything to do more damage. You want your grenades to do more damage, so you got to do your melee, do thruster, throw your grenade, or you can just throw your grenade first and do the other two and increase the damage of that ability instantly. The way the recharge rate is going to be going, you're going to see you can just spam grenades and melees left and right like it's the last day on Earth. For the mod on the chest piece, we have Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. So, in this case, you would kill something with your grenade, you spawn an arc well, pick it up, and continue your chain. For the gloves, we have Bountiful Wells, and then anti-champion mods if you need them. Bountiful Wells says elemental well mods that cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack, spawning additional wells for each additional copy of the mod that you have equipped. So basically, every time you make a well, you make 2 wells. So you can make like 5 wells just killing a small group of enemies instantly, and then you pick up all the wells, and your ability regen just goes through the roof. Again, you're going to see it in the content here shortly. And finally, we have another Bountiful Wells. And then on top of that, we have Ashes to Assets, just to spam to get your super back even faster. It comes back very, 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 very quickly. And you can combo that off if you'd like with something like Ager's Scepter, because Normie Thunder Crash without Falling Star isn't the greatest. But here you can utilize it to just basically sacrifice it to use Ager's, and then freeze everything and melt everything in sight, including Barrier Champions, where you don't even let them barrier. So it's a nice little combo there. Now, with that being said, let me just show you guys the footage. So the footage you're watching is us doing Conqueror in a day, where we do all 6 GMs on the Conqueror launch date for GMs, and basically we just went with 3 Titans and nothing else into every single GM with grenades and no wells, no banner shields, no bubbles, basically no form of protection, at least not the normal kind. And then we just went hold W key and ape everything. A grenade in one hand and our giant wieners in the other. Wait, that came out wrong. You're going to notice a theme of us just straight up not caring what the mechanics to the strike is, where the enemies spawn, the turrets on the skiffs, nothing. We just shoot the turrets, we stay in the middle of the Warm Mind, and we charge it up. We don't cheese it like a bunch of crybabies sitting in an emote. We kill everything, snipers, captains, servitors, champions, all dead, and we get through the Warm Mind section like it's a regular strike in like 3-4 minutes. Then we get downstairs, and it's more of the same. Essentially, the idea was we get to the champion, we stun the champion if needed, and then we nuke him with simply throwing our grenade, maybe hitting a melee, and then they just fall over and die. And that is the entire run. I'm pretty sure our gun kill count at the end was like sub 30 in total, if that. That's being generous. And we just nuke everything with grenades and nothing else in a GM where we're under 25, and it's pretty damn silly if you ask me. One last thing, here's me running a Solar Burn Master Law Sector that's 1600 light with this Arc Grenade build. So it's not Arc Burn, and well, I'll let the results speak for themselves, and hope you guys enjoy. I'm just going to let some of the footage play out here just so you guys can see our, I guess, reactions while we're doing this and it being really, really dumb. But other than that, if you guys want to see maybe the firepower build for bosses against maybe like dungeon/raid bosses, let me know and I could try to have that done. Other than that, if you have a question about the build or maybe the firepower build, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll try to answer that. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff does help the channel. Also, stream daily on Twitch, link in the description for that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video for more builds. Goodbye!
We both miss. Oh my god, I
No, I
couldn't see
hit.
him.
I landed right next to him, but I hit it. That was nuts.
You can get incandescent on Mindbenders? What the fuck?
Good.